Listen, I hate DeWalt. For obvious reasons. But the DW735 is the undisputed champ of benchtop planers. The problem is the chip ejection system has the ability to propel dust into the next county. So today, I'm going to show you how to make a DIY dust collector stand. If your shop is anything like mine, the dust collector somehow manages to be exactly where you don't want it all the time. So my goal is to make a good-looking stand that also filters out the fine dust particles. I bought this planer with a Shelix head installed on Facebook Marketplace for $800, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. My first priority was the dust collector, and then I could build my stand around the contraption. I bought a 35-gallon brute garbage can with a dolly, and I ended up settling on a 35-gallon garbage can because I figured that'd be plenty of volume that I wouldn't have to change it out very often. I started by cutting the top lid out of some old half-inch plywood I had lying around. I ended up laminating two pieces together just to add some structure to it. Then I cut out another circle that was the same diameter as the top of the garbage can. I glued and centered the two pieces on top of each other, and from there I cut a 4-inch hole for the intake and a 12-inch hole for the exhaust. I originally wanted to make the inlet on the dust collector top out of PVC pipe, which, if you bought brand new from the store, the piece would be pretty expensive. So rather, I went to my local Habitat for Humanity store, which happens to be right down the road from my house. And if you don't know what the store is, it's pretty awesome. There's over 900 stores nationwide, and this place is like a Goodwill and a Home Depot had a baby. It's awesome. I bought a foot-long run of 4-inch PVC pipe for 50 cents, which is a pretty great deal. The problem is, 4-inch PVC pipe has an outside diameter of 4.5 inches. Basically, I wrongfully assumed that a 4-inch dust collection hose would fit over the top of a 4-inch PVC pipe. And yes, I should have measured to confirm, but I had already cut the hole, so I switched gears. And I had a friend that has a 3D printer print me out a fixture. The most important feature is that the inlet is connected at a 45-degree angle and placed at the edge of the garbage can. This will create the cyclone effect I'm looking for. I ended up having to jerry-rig the 3D printed fixture and the PVC pipe together, and no, it's not perfect, but you know, a little wabi-sabi never killed anyone. One of my college professors loved that phrase. It's a Japanese concept about finding beauty in imperfection. I think mostly it's a coping mechanism for woodworkers, but I'm not totally for sure yet. Next up was the thine baffle. The baffle sits inside the collection bin and keeps the chips from being sucked right back up into the filter. I spaced it below the lid using 4-inch bolts, gave it a coat of paint, and added a window screen underneath the top cover to stop large debris from clogging up the HEPA filter. I then built a frame out of 2x4 so I can easily replace the filter whenever it needs it. The bead of clear silicone around the rim creates an airtight seal, and finally the dust collector was done.
Dust don't stand a chance in this old shop now. Build it with some plywood and a little know-how. Every board I run comes out clean as can be. Nothing but sawdust chasing after me. Roll it over here, roll it over there. Breathing easy with clean, fresh air. Might not be fancy, but it sure gets the job done. This dust collector's working overtime, son.
With the dust collector system finally finished, I had a better idea how big the planer stand really had to be. I decided on the final dimensions of 25 inches long, 32 inches wide, and 40 inches tall. I made sure that the height accommodated for the clearance of the top of the dust collector. I got lucky because I found a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace giving away a bunch of 3/4-inch MDF. When I picked it up, he said to make something cool. And I don't know about you guys, but I think dust collection is pretty cool.
Why are you yelling?
Because it's a good dream!
I used MDF on the outer shell of the stand to add some structural integrity, and I painted it up my favorite color. Post in the comments if you know this shade of blue. I'll respond for the first one that gets it right. The bench top, I used a chunk of solid corridor. I had a piece lying around, so I figured why not. Covered the stand with some spar urethane, and that's pretty much it. I love the stand and the dust collector. It stores nicely out of the way when I'm not using it thanks to the 3-inch casters. The dust collector will keep my lungs clean, especially in the winter when I have to keep the garage doors closed. Ultimately, I think this was a great project. It was a lot of fun building it, and I'm super excited to use this planer at its full capacity more in the future. However, P.S. I still hate DeWalt.